Welcome back to What's Up Stratford. I'm here with Barb Hacking. We're going to talk about communities in bloom. Barb, thank you very much for joining me.
My pleasure.
What is Communities in Bloom and how's it relevant in 2021?
Okay, Communities in Bloom was started in 1995. It's a national committee, and Stratford, of course, is involved with it because Ted Blows, our former mayor, and he was one of the former people who started it. So with his lead, we just kind of went along, and what Communities in Bloom does is make your community better. We take a look at how can we make it look better, how can we make it better environmentally, and how happy. So in 2021, what's really special about Communities in Bloom this year is we have a theme nationwide called Hope is Growing. And yellow being the international color of hope, we've been trying to spread cascade across Stratford and the area. So so hopefully today I'll be able to tell you a little bit about those initiatives that we've been involved with.
Perfect. Well, let's start off. You mentioned Hope. So I know you have a 25th anniversary Garden of Hope. So tell us about that.
Okay, last year, because of the pandemic, the city of Stratford did not have as many employees to keep up the gardens, and many of our gardens had tarps put over. So our 25th anniversary Communities in Bloom garden, which is in front of the boathouse, was one of those gardens. And this year, Communities in Bloom volunteer members have made sure that there are flowers in it. And it's become a real focal point, being right in front of the boathouse, in front of a busy parking lot. And there's a lot of symbolism within the garden. For instance, the day we planted, there had just been an announcement that the 215 Indigenous children in Kamloops had been found. And we had 217 sunflowers. So we decided that the border of the garden would represent those children and, in memory of them. And we have a sign in the middle of the garden so people know that. And it also, being yellow this year, we've got a lot of yellow pollinator plants, and I'm happy to let you know that there's been swallowtail butterflies, monarchs, bees, and even the birds are coming now for some of the seeds that the sunflowers are creating. So it's a really neat garden to watch.
Perfect. Well, last month, Barb, I noticed driving in August past the Bridge to Nowhere. It's been beautifully painted. So tell us about that.
Yes, the Bridge to Nowhere was becoming very, was covered with mold. There was a lot of graffiti on the railing at the top, and it was just time to, do something with the bridge. And so way back in March, Angela Braham from the Art Gallery, our Gallery Stratford, and Quim Malott from the city, we had a little meeting and decided that the bridge and also the wall that used to say Confederation Park needed some uplifting. Now, Angela had a wonderful mural artist coming in from Toronto to do a camp with some children, not children, teenagers from Stratford area. So when Bearcat came in to town, it was in July, although she was booked to do it in April, but with pandemic protocols, that wasn't able to happen. So it's been kind of nice over the last little while to see the transformation with all the color. And Bearcat on one side of the bridge has actually taken the monarch butterfly caterpillar as her inspiration. And there's lots of different colors along that side of the bridge. And on the other, with our motto of Hope is Growing, it now says love and hope grow here. And that garden is so full of pollinators, and it's a place you can go and just be at peace after this, through this pandemic. And I know last year the garden was very much used by the residents of Stratford. The tourists weren't here, but it's a very well lit space, and the kids are loving the color, and it's been a fun transformation to see.
Yeah, and quickly, regarding sunflower seeds, what are you going to be doing with those?
Okay, so back in last year in Bayfield, Ontario, and some surrounding areas, they had fields of sunflowers in memory of a little boy named Max. And they were able to raise $200,000 just by people visiting the fields during the pandemic. People were able to socially distance, and people just needed to be out and uplifted during that time. So I contacted the founder of that charity, and he very graciously donated 200,000 sunflower seeds to Stratford. And so back at the market, we handed out sunflower seeds. When people visit the garden down in front of the boathouse, we've been handing out seeds to anyone who happens to visit, and they're just delighted to be able to take some seeds home and try it.
Barb, thank you very much for joining me. I got to cut you off here. It's been beautiful what you're doing in Communities in Bloom in Stratford. So thanks for making a difference in Stratford.